It's been revealed police were twice warned about taking on lawyer X as an informer, with one former Assistant Commissioner in Victoria describing her as a loose cannon. Joining me now from Melbourne, Patrick Murrell, who's been sitting through the Royal Commission into police informers. Pat, in one of her registrations as an informer, this lawyer's position as a lawyer wasn't even mentioned, apparently.
Yeah, that's right, and that's despite previous concerns being raised by some quite senior police about her suitability as a candidate. Good morning, good afternoon, I should say, David. We've been hearing from Neil Paterson, who's the Assistant Commissioner in charge of the unit responsible for police informants in Victoria. Today we started out by hearing how the time frame lawyer X, who we can identify now as Nicola Gobbo, has once again blown out. She was being used as an informant up until August 2010, not 2009, as previously thought. We've also heard that Victoria Police didn't mention to the Royal Commission that they knew she was an informer back in 1995, 6 months out from the Royal Commission. That resulted in a delay in the start as the terms of reference had to be redrawn. Now, we've been hearing a lot of the background about how Nicola Gobbo, lawyer X, was first recruited. Police first became aware of her in 1993 when she was a law student at Melbourne University. They raided her Carlton home and arrested her and her then partner, charging them with drug offences. Now, in the 18 months that followed, police maintained contact with her, even meeting up with her at the MCG where she was working at the time. In 1995, she was then enlisted as a police informer for the first time. She was listed as someone who lived with a known criminal but was a reliable source and who genuinely wanted to help police. Now, not long after this, she was involved in a failed sting operation where she set up her former boyfriend with a plainclothes police officer. That plainclothes police officer was then offered drugs. A senior constable at the time, who then went on to become an Assistant Commissioner of Police here in Victoria, described her as a loose cannon and who didn't liaise with police enough. A couple of years later, when she was informing in another failed operation on a lawyer who was allegedly involved in fraud, police described her as unsuitable candidate because of a criminal history, because of her inappropriate relationships with police, and because she couldn't be trusted. Take a listen.
Firstly, that she was a solicitor. Well, one of the reasons was that she was a solicitor.
Yes, that's right.
Also that she was too overt in her desire to provide information to police.
That's correct.
Now, I've also heard how when she was a solicitor, a lawyer, she was acting for 3 clients who'd been charged by police in a drug operation, and that she hadn't been involved with police and been talking with police as part of that drug operation. We finished today hearing about how she first became involved with Tony Mockball, of course, a very recognisable figure in Melbourne's underworld. This Royal Commission examining just how Nicola Gobbo was registered as an informer, despite her informing on her own clients, and more broadly about Victoria Police's use of informants throughout the past decade. Now, the Royal Commission has ended for the day. It resumes tomorrow, and we'll hear more from Assistant Commissioner Neil Paterson.